So I'm going to show you the story song for We're Going on a Bear Hunt, but the indoor version. So hopefully you've already watched the outdoor version. If you haven't, I would suggest you watch that video I've done of the outdoor one, because that's basically will show you how to do the song and the whole format and lay out how it works out. But I'm going to show you how you can adapt it for indoors, because most of the time you might not be able to do this song outdoors when you're working with a group of children in a classroom kind of thing. So I'm going to show you that the first thing that you would need is you would need the book to show the children, and then you need a few props for it. So you would need the bear, so any teddy bear that you can hide somewhere in the room, and I tend to find like under a table. I put the bear under the table, and then I cover the table with a blanket, so it sort of makes a cave for the bear, so the children won't be able to see it when they come into the room. So it's already hiding behind this curtain that is hanging off the table like this. And then I also have the long wavy grass. So this one is, I originally bought it, I can't remember exactly, but it was one of these things that you hang off doors, I think, one of these grass long things that you put to stop mosquitoes coming through. But I use it as long wavy grass that you can sort of like shake like this one. This one you've got to be very, very careful with, because it can get wrapped around their neck as they walk through it. So you just have to tell them they have to walk really slowly through it, and you manipulate the thing so that it goes slowly past them. And they could also like put their hands here around their neck so that they protect their neck, so it's not like getting wrapped around the neck, but it can get wrapped around the fingers. Then that's a bit easier to sort of move away from their faces. So that's that one. And then you also need some bubbles thing, like bubble foam thing, and a parachute for the end. So that's going to be where you're going to hide under the bed sheets at the end when they get into bed and they hide under the covers. We use a parachute because lots of children can fit under that in that way. And then I also use my flashcards. I don't always use the flashcards. It depends what I want to use a story for, but if you've been doing about note values and things, you can either use it in the story song now, or you could do it as a separate activity where you're sort of bringing their attention to the different rhythms that they were doing when they were doing all the different actions. And you will see that in a minute when I do the story, so I'll bring your attention to these ones. Anyway, so I will show you how the whole thing would go. So the first thing, you show them the book, and I will do a tiny bit of at the beginning so you remember how the melody goes. So it goes like this. We're going on a bear hunt, and they sing back. We're going on a bear hunt, we're going to catch a big one, we're going to catch a big, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. We're not scared, oh, grass, long wavy grass. And this is when you get the grass out, so you show them that grass there, but you get your prop out of the grass and you get them to queue up, so the children will line up so that they can each have a turn walking through the grass, and you go swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy. So they're walking through it, and so they've all gone through it, and we threw the grass. So for that one, if you were wanting to show them the note value cards, the one I use for Swishy Swashy is your quaver card, because it goes, so this is your beat, goes swishy swashy swishy swashy swishy swashy da, 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 da. So there are your quavers there that you can always show them on that one. Okay, so the next one is the river. And you do the same thing where you sing the song, they echo that way. And for this one, it's going to be your crotchet card, because you're going to go splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh. And the children are sort of pretending like they're swimming like this. And you're going splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh. But at the same time, you as a teacher is going to have a water spray, and you can spray the children just check with the parents first if that's okay. But if it's a sunny, really hot day, which it's been really hot recently, so you can start using sprays, and they find that very funny also. So you spray them, splish, splush, splash, splush, splash, splush, and you spray all of them with a bit of water. Not massively, so you don't want them soaking wet, but yeah, with just light water mist spray thing. Then the next one is your mud. So it goes squelch, 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 and this is going this speed. Squelch, 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 squelch. And for that one, all they do is go squelch, 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 moving around the room in that way until they're through the mud, and you carry on with the song, carrying on. We're going on a bare hunt. So you always had to do that song after each of the sections. The next one is the forest, the stumble, trip, trip. And for this one, I get the chairs that are in the room, and the children have to sort of like go under the chairs, like through the chair legs. Some might climb onto the chair also. So it's a bit like the chairs are trees, and they can either go through the trees or actually climbing up the trees and over. So a bit like an obstacle course. I let them do that without me doing, because I get stuck in the chair if not. But yeah, because they're very little, they can sort of fit through the legs, and that's fine. And for that one, you can show them the rhythm card, where it goes stumble, trip, stumble, trip, stumble, trip. Or you could use a card, if you've got 3 crotchets and a rest, that you could do it then in that way. Stumble, trip, sh, stumble, trip, sh. Depends which card you use. I used to have the other card, I've lost it, but I would have probably gone with that one rather than this one. Okay, so that's that one. So you're going through the forest. The next thing that happens is a snowstorm. So then on the snowstorm, this is going to be your bubbles, which hopefully they will work. But you go like this, you go woo, and you make it last for 4 counts. It goes woo, because you're showing them the semi-breathe card, which I will show you in a minute. And again, you have to be careful not to get it into their eyes. You just tell them to make sure that they're not looking straight into the bubbles when you're doing it, so that it doesn't sting their eyes. And for that one, I show them this card, which is a snow song. Woo, woo. So it lasts for 4 counts on that one. The next one, the next stage of the story is when they get to the cave. Okay, and then for this one they're going tip, tap, tip, tap. We say pianissimo, pianissimo, so doing really quietly. And you tiptoe into the cave, and then you do the whole thing with a teacher. You would put your hands into that curtain, you know, where the teddy bear is, and start feeling through the curtain. And you say 1 shiny wet nose, 2 big furry ears, 2 big goggly eyes. It's a bear! And then you run out, so you bring the bear out, and then you start chasing the children with the bear, run around, they all start running around like mad, and then you have to go backwards through the whole sequence. So the same you did, so you very quickly go through the snowstorm, as it says in the book. So you have to go back to the bubbles, back to going through the chairs, back to just going scratch, 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 back to the water spraying, back to the grass, and then we go into the house, get to the front door, open the door, then run up the stairs and say, oh no, we forgot to close the door. So they run down again, and we do this whole thing where we had to slam the door at the same time. So we get ready, and slam. So it's trying to get them to do it in time with you as a conductor. So another good musical skill, to play in time. So doing it exactly the same time. And then accent, we say the word accent because it's slamming it. And then the next bit is they go back upstairs. So you go, and we actually sing the scale as we go up. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then we went down, we go, that's a funny radio. So we were going down the stairs, down to shut the door. We also did the descending scale. But yeah, then you go up the stairs again, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, climbing up. And then you go quickly into the bed, under the covers. You get the parachute out, and then you quickly put it over your head and over the children. And then you say, under the parachute said, we're not going on a bear hunt ever again. And that's the end of the story. So that's how I finish the story at the end. That one also, if you were doing it in a violin lesson, if it's a violin group that you do it, it's a good one that you can do in several ways with the violin also, to do all those different sound effects. So you have, for the grass, you've got like the swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. You can do it as a bow exercise. Yeah, so you've got your bow hold here with a little finger, and you're going swishy, swashy. So you're turning your bow into long grass, and that's a good way to work on your bow hold and get that balance there. And then the same thing when it's the water, you can do it pizzicato. You're going to go splash, 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 going through all the strings on that one. Or you can even do it with the bow. You can go, so it gives you that kind of splash sound to it. The mud one, I do it where you had to press really hard. It makes a horrible sound because like, which is not really how you want them to play, but it shows them about weight pressure onto the instrument. So because you're putting too much weight, and then they sort of realise how much, you know, adjusting the weight of your arm will make a difference to the sound. And then for the stumble trip, we do a bit of collegno, which is when we turn our bow upside down and we go stumble trip, stumble trip, stumble trip. And then on the last one, I'm trying to think, oh, we've got the moonwalk one, the snowstorm one. For that one, we do a bit of rolling, so go. Rolling on the arms, backwards and forwards on that one. And then after that, we've got the tiptoeing, so it goes tiptoe, 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 and you can sort of choose the strings. I could go on Grandad G and Daddy D, G, D, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. For the scream, when we see the bear, you can put it on the wrong side of the bridge and go, so horrible squeaky sound on the E string. And there's your scream, and then you do everything as backwards again as we did, but at a faster speed. And then that's how you can adapt it also to doing it as a violin story song with it also.